Hi, this is Dr. Joe, ASU. In this video, we're going to examine how to develop question groups in Canvas quizzes. Let's start in the course shell, where you'd like the quiz developed. Within that shell, in the left side menu, click Quizzes. On the top right of your screen, click Add Quiz. For this video quiz demonstration, we're going to choose Classic Quizzes. And so we start off with a blank quiz template that requires details. Here we have an Intermediate 1 Listening and Speaking ESL class that has a quiz that is 3 different categories of questions, which is perfect for 3 different question groups within the quiz. Before I develop any questions, I'm going to go ahead and save this information. Canvas quizzes information is not saved. Any work that you've done isn't saved until you click Save. This is coming from experience. I've actually lost work, developing questions where I've got to close my computer, or within the process of work throughout the day, you've got 10 windows open. So just periodically save your work. I'm going to go ahead and go into Edit again, so they can start building questions. I'm going to click on Questions. I'm going to click on a new question group because we have 3 groups. We have whose and whose. We have the possessive pronoun as well as the contraction who is or who has. I think I'm going to have 13 questions. I think 10 questions, actually. I'm going to create the group. I'm just going to go ahead and start adding questions. Now, within the question group or question category, if I want a question, I'm going to go ahead and click on the add sign to add a question. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Scroll down. And here I've written 1 question with 2 possible answers. I have excess answer blanks, so I'm going to get rid of the last 2. I'm going to update the question. So now we have 1 question within that category. Here's a troubleshoot for you. Let's imagine that you, instead of clicking on the plus sign within the category, that you accidentally click on a new question. So you see that we have one of our questions that is outside of the category, and the category is defined by the rectangular square that confines this information, whose and whose. And so basically what I want to do is I want to, from the top left of that question, you can drag it if you hold down on your mouse or your computer keyboard mouse, and then you just drag it into that category. Or you could drag it out as well if you wanted to, if you were to want to. So I have 2 questions in this category of whose and whose. However, I'm going to go ahead and build another category and create one. New question group. Create new. Go ahead and paste. What, or, which, or how. I believe I have 13 questions. I'm going to go ahead and create the group. So we have 2 questions developed in the what, which, or how category. And if you have a question like the one with 2 blanks or 2 lines in the middle of it, and you want it to be worth 2 points, then you have to actually go to the edit and then click on 2 points. And then instead of having actually 13 questions, you would have 12 questions, because Canvas is going to look at this 1 question that's worth 2 points as being 2 different questions. And here's what the completed quiz will look like with 3 different categories. Whose and whose. 10 questions. What, which, or how. 13 questions category. And then do, does, and did with 7 questions in the category. Gotta save it. Before we publish the quiz so that students know that it's coming up, we want to go in and edit the settings. So we're going to go in and edit. The first thing we're going to do is to shuffle the answers, or click on Shuffle Answers. If you don't click on Shuffle Answers, all of the right answers will be the first answers. So by clicking on Shuffle Answers, the right answer will be in a different place within the multiple choices. So for one student, the right answer might be answer B, and for another student, the right answer might be answer C. Another thing that we could do is give students a time limit. I like to give them maybe a 50-minute time limit. depends on the content, of course, that's being covered. Allow multiple attempts. And here is a paradigm shift. When you allow multiple attempts, primarily you could look at the quizzes as being, or the quiz function in Canvas as not being solely for assessment purposes, but for exercising. So for content that I really want to drill in students have an opportunity to quiz multiple times. So I'd like to start out with take the quiz twice, or take the exercise twice, or do the exercise twice. Sometimes I like to call them quiz exercises to identify it's under the quiz function, but it is more like an exercise. So when students take the quiz twice or the quiz exercise twice, Canvas will accept the higher of the two scores. And if you want to know the first score, you're going to have to take a screenshot, because Canvas will just automatically document or take the higher of the two scores. And sometimes I will give students the opportunity to take the quiz or the exercise twice, and at the very end of the session, I will open up the quiz for a third opportunity to allow for a review session. Students always take advantage of it. We have opportunities to allow students to see feedback, or to allow Canvas to generate feedback for students, so we can allow students to see incorrect answers or their answers. We can also allow them to see their answers only after their last attempt, so that it's a real, the only thing they're being exposed to are the questions and the answers, and they're able to think about it, of course. However, one thing I like to do is to allow them to see the correct answers at the very end, so they do get that feedback. Sometimes they're not able to ask or get a response immediately. What was the answer to number 7? Because sometimes quizzes have 30, 40 items in them. However, for real quizzes, it asks those assessments before the generally bigger standardized assessments. I don't like to allow students to see the correct answers, nor review questions and answers or the quizzes with them, because I like to maintain the integrity of the test. One of the last things to review and to make sure that you have set would be primarily the availability date, to make sure that once you do publish the quiz, so that students know that this is coming up, that they have it, and can eventually access it. They don't access it and start taking it too early, especially if it is an assessment. If it's an exercise, it's best to wait for students to wait for that quiz to open up, so everyone can do it, because I have made the mistake in not quite 100, but the number of quizzes that I've developed over the past 1.5 years, 2 years, that I have failed to set the availability, the access date, and 1 or 2 students have actually done the quiz or done the exercises before the class, but that's a rarity. Those are mistakes. It's a learning curve. I don't make those mistakes anymore. I try not to, by making sure that I'm clicking on the availability. When can they actually see it? When is it due? I usually like to put the due date and then when the quiz is available to them in the same date. And then I'm going to save it as well. Make sure 50 minutes. I think it's set a 50-minute parameter. I can look 50 minutes, yep. 2 attempts. All right. And then I can save it, and then I can publish it as well. Save and publish. It's ready to go. This video on developing question groups and Canvas quizzes was brought to you and developed by the Professional Development Committee, Materials Subcommittee, Dr. Joseph Axel.